We are on the things, I think. Hello and welcome back to Actual Play. We are playing Sync, and our characters, Lido and Tessa and Nash, are all trying to figure out what to do as the world around them just keeps getting shittier.
You remodel the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's all you can do.
Yeah. Well, the interesting mix-up is that what Tessa was talking about is like, hey, who wants to help me with my the floating, the house on stilts? But because it was a construction project, and because Lido was working on a construction project, I don't know if Nash intentionally or unintentionally misunderstood, but when she was like, "Oh, I'll help you with the cabinet," Tessa was like, "No, I mean with the fuck it, whatever," and just like off working on her thing now. So. But we don't need to have another scene of construction because that's. No, although we could do that. We could just have.
I mean, you can just do construction this whole session. That's fine. I'll work in the cyberpunk. But yeah, so Nash, did you do your own thing, I guess is the question, instead of helping the group?
I did.
Cool. That is also fine. It is a distinguishing part of the themes. So I thought I'd bring it up. So as a reminder, y'all are actively working. Y'all kind of have an idea of like the people you like want to take down in these scenarios, like the groups and corporations and people who you're beginning to work against. Like you have a sense of like, okay, we are beginning to work against this real estate company. We don't like what the local government is doing, in regards to homeless people and like this legislation. And we're generally not in favor of a violent police state, which is currently kind of what you're in the midst of. Yeah. So as hacktivists, more or less, you've already begun like little projects. And I know like part of that is like definitely, Sean, for your character, it's very obvious. Like you're kind of building things to disrupt and like make things more accessible, because that's your goal as a group, to like make stuff more accessible to people. And like when you're fighting against these groups, that's how you're doing it. You're fighting with accessibility. So keep that in mind, as like that is like an established goal that y'all have. You are all working on that kind of as a crew.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Tessa's is like a very obvious. It's like a very blunt solution, which is if the homeless shelters are going to lose their funding and eventually flood, she's just going to make replacement homes or lifted up homes so that the people can stay in the same area. Because the idea would be if there was state funding that they would have another place for them that wasn't flooded, or they would do something about the flooding, or something would happen. But instead, like Tessa doesn't think she can stop the flooding, so instead she just wants to make homes that can exist over like a flooded area. Yeah. And like there's lots of that in Miami already, so it doesn't seem like it's a super alien idea. But installing homes, like rolling out homes and installing them, is probably not super illegal, but it's probably at least like not cool. So
yeah, you'd need zoning permits and funding.
Doesn't follow code. And
yeah,
exactly.
So I know you can finesse, like you can build the homes, but you need those connections in order to actually get them in place. So that's like that is a goal, right? Like trying to make a connection or get support from somebody, or maybe hack some funds or something like that.
Yeah, and that's, I think, sort of outside of her realm. Like she definitely can make them, but yeah, getting that approved.
Yeah. So that's like kind of where the rest of the crew comes in. Like how, like what are you doing? How are you helping, type of thing. And that's something that you can establish during play, or already have an idea of how to do it. But it might be something pretty key on like Nash's part, like as far as like the digital manipulation. And who knows who you meet at parties these days, So yeah, those are established goals you can think of like as you go forward. You're not just kind of like bumbling around like, oh, what do we do? So you are a competent, thoughtful activist.
We're competent activists who have connections and that's good. Thank you. That's good, because I was sort of like, I'm not sure what actions are available to us. Like what thing. Like I know it's like it's a role playing game, do anything, but like this is a specific setting, and we have
Oh yeah,
areas of influence. So
absolutely.
I would like to roll handmade. It's kind of pushing towards roll, but I'm
yeah.
specifically trying to design
Oh.
something with the intention to shift culture.
Sure.
And I think
Ooh.
that having the thing as like, even if it's like a prototype, is a good argument, is a good place to start the discussion with somebody. Like, hey, look, it's not just a conceptual idea. Like, I've actually built one and I can roll it out and it works. And that might backfire or not, but I'd like to have the thing made.
Absolutely.
So
So
yeah,
you're working
handmade.
on designing finishing the design of these temporary houses.
Exactly.
Cool.
Um,
So roll your
and
rat.
yeah, we'll do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
Say.
no, it's okay. Just as I envision them, it's like a bed and like there's no plumbing or electricity in it. But it does have a place for clothes like underneath the bed. It's very sort of IKEA design in terms of the like efficiency.
Yeah.
But the idea being that it gives people uh, a modicum of privacy and protection from the elements, and an ability to control their own space. And I'm totally stealing this from a design that I've seen in Oakland that's super rad and got deployed and then immediately got pulled because it violated zoning laws. But it was really cool. It's the same thing with stilts, essentially.
It's
It's
real.
real, yeah. And this is a really rad thing to do, I think. So,
Cool.
so since it's a rad thing to do, I'm gonna roll rad.
I hope it goes well.
I hope it does too. Come on, cheat. There we go.
Oh shit!
Okay.
It went really well.
Yes.
An 11.
Good job. On a 10 plus, what you've made helps influence a cultural shift. Gain +2 sync points. So, yeah. So I'm imagining. How does that like help you? Because it doesn't actually make a move against the group, but it can help you like gain attention somehow. Like maybe you post them online or something.
I was thinking I just like just put out the first one. Like I think as of this party, like I finished one. So when we go to this party, there's like already one in existence, and it's probably going to get like taken away at some point, but just as sort of an open act of like,
yeah,
I know there's at least one area that's flooded, and I think she just like goes and like rolls it out to a place that's so like when we're on the rooftop of the party, we can look down because this building is flooded. So like we can look down over the side of the building and there's like one of them set up for tonight. Does that sound like it's totally the wrong move because she should get approval first, but she's just like, I'm just gonna start and do it and then see if we can get people behind the idea.
Yeah. Well, she's a guerrilla artist, so you just like guerrilla art bombed a house.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. And it's right outside, so it's very visible from the night from where the party is.
Yeah.
Strong move.
That sounds great. Cool. And then to make sure you mark your +2 sync points.
I did. And
you were rolling in the sync points.
I have all the sync right now. Can we send sync to help one another? No. We spend sync to do group actions. Okay.
Yeah.
If we want to help each other, is that a thing we can do? Or is that not a
I don't have a help move.
Cool.
Like an official one.
Yeah.
So I guess
doesn't need to be one. I just wondered. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I don't like helping moves too much. Maybe I can make one. So yeah. So how are you getting ready for the party? How is Lido getting ready for this? You have to drive like across town a little to get to this warehouse. Like it's kind of on the same side of the city, but like you have to maneuver. So this is definitely like a driving option or opportunity. But like let's see what everyone is like wearing to this. It's just like a trashy rooftop party, you know? Like it's not like a fancy club or like, you know, like a marketing party or something. It's just like a bunch of punks potentially.
Yes.
So I think after a lot of sweaty cabinetry work, you know, he'll pull out from, you know, the back of a drawer somewhere an equally like a near identical shirt and just sweatshirts and be just like ready to go.
Amazing.
No shower
Good.
in between, or
Nope.
yeah. It's super hot and sweaty here, no matter
It's
what.
super hot. He's like, oh, what's the point? I'll just change my shirt. It's all good.
How is Lito feeling about all this stuff that's going on? Like, does he like?
I mean, yeah, it upsets him. He's definitely like upset that like the car culture is diminished with just more waterways than roadways, and is not sure if how he's going to adjust to that. And that seems like a very inevitable thing, is like eventually he's not gonna like have his car anymore, and that
Yeah.
bums him out. And I think he's pretty much just like on board with whatever the group is like interested in rallying behind, like pretty much like whatever Tessa and Nash are like, this is important. He's like, yeah, cool, all right.
Cool. That's awesome. Nash, how are you getting ready for the party? What are you wearing?
Nash gets ready for the party by going to the skate park and trading people, like working on their boosted boards for some low key like synth like drugs, some party drugs.
All right, awesome. Yeah, there's a bunch of skaters, boosted boarders, I guess, down there. And I feel like I have.
And like there's the boon of like getting some, like it's the like there's also like the boon of like gossip, like there's the doing the work, but like really the important part is like, how's everyone, what's the word on the street about all the things that are going down, like there's two things happening ish.
Totally.
Do you want to gossip? Because that's a move right there.
You could totally roll gossip. I'm gonna see what kind of person you run into. I want to use my NPC generator.
Yeah, totally. Sorry.
Cool.
So their gender is going to be Z, her, and their genetic ID is going to be half Venezuelan, half Haitian, and they are. Let me see. 2, 6. Oops.
This is fun.
5. They're sensitive.
Oh
no. They're sensitive and they act before they speak.
Yay.
Where Z acts before Z speaks. And let's see. 6. The style, Z's style is street, which is appropriate, I feel like, for a boosted border.
Yeah.
I should just copy this so that I don't have to do the whole thing. Yeah. And then that's not an option. Why did I do that? Yeah, Z's wearing sweats, a Cuban hat, and a white tank top.
Yes. So good.
And since I did all that, I should probably name them. So this is a boosted boarded person. Z's name is Dominic.
Dominic.
That's Dom. I'm the boosted borderer.
Cool.
Is that Z XI or ZI or Z?
ZZE.
ZZE.
I don't use
just one Z
too often, so I'm trying to practice.
Just one Z. Yeah.
Venezuelan / Haitian. They boost over, or Z boosts over to you.
Awesome.
And this is their hat, like in a real cool way, kind of looking off to the side, like their Z's face like lit by some billboards nearby, and glowing kind of like this purpley blue.
Oh yeah.
Highlights in the dark park. And Z's like, yo, what's up? It's been a little while. Like what, 5 days since you've been down here?
Been remodeling. It's been fun.
What are you, like 50?
It happens. Sometimes the net goes down and you gotta hang out with people in real life. So I thought I'd come down and say hello.
Oh, well, hey, I'm not saying no to that. And Z offers you like a big hug.
Yeah, awesome. Like, Nash will spring to her feet. 'Cause she's been sitting on the board that she's on, and just like on the feeds, right? Like, is in office by showing up, and will just spring up and happily take that. So and reciprocate.
Cool. There's like a whole bunch of other subculture people like skating down there. Like some mermodders are down there, and they have like all this teal clothing, and there's just like some old-fashioned punk rockers who like have spiked hair, and all kinds of races and genders. I guess I'll say races. I need race advice. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on there in the park. So you wanted to ask them to gossip?
Yeah, like what's the, and I think at this point, like Nash's fashion pretty closely is a compliment to Dom's, in that like Nash is wearing a pair of like joggers that are pretty lean and a pair of like really overly clean like high top sneakers, a short sleeved like really lightweight like mesh hoodie that basically has the words "nope" on it.
I love it.
A mesh hoodie. Hold on. That's amazing. Cool. I forget what Nash's hair looks like.
Nash's hair is bedhead-tastic. It's always like it manages, it's dark, and manages to be like it's probably like relatively short, but mostly spends a lot of time like vertical and cowl-licked, and just is Nash often looks like she tumbled out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I guess getting the drugs is no big deal, because this is something you two do all the time. So Dominic like trades you, and like you like, I don't know, slide credits over to him, or Zem.
This is a good opportunity to practice. Thank you for that.
Yeah, more uncommon pronouns.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it is the near future after all. So that deal goes down. So then Dominic is like, so what, are you gonna hang out with us at the skate park tonight and show off some of your new sweet moves you've been practicing while you've been rehabbing your house or whatever?
Yeah, you know that's how that works, all right? Totally. I can't. I got a hot date up on the roof.
You have a date?
Not like that.
You said you had a date. Who are you going on a date with?
Well, maybe that's you.
Well, I mean, I will go to a rooftop party if that's something that you're into or whatever.
You want to come help me learn what there is to learn, but not like that. Not like that kind of date. But always like that kind of a date.
You're confusing, Nash.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta come out and be like, is this a date? Is it not a date? Am I interested in you? You can't just play all these gray lines all the time. You know, sometimes it's good to just make a straight up commitment and see where it goes.
My commitment is I have to go make people feel better because I care about them. So it's like work, but it's like party time work. It's not much of a date. I wouldn't be paying attention to you. But if you want to come do some partying.
Well, I guess that's more straightforward.
Sorry to disappoint, but there you have it. Date another day.
Cool. I'd rather hear some honesty from you, so that's cool. Whatever. All right, maybe I'll come. Where is it at?
Slide those details like over the feed, right?
Okay, cool. So did you want to roll your gossip and see, like,
yeah,
you need to find out some stuff?
I totally want to learn about what is going on now that I have alienated my cute friend. Let's see, and how do I gossip?
That felt like temporary alienation. I felt like.
Here's for hoping.
Maybe just a short letdown. Yeah. Oh yeah, roll plus your savvy.
Hey, this is what Nash is on about. We'll see if Nash is indeed on about this with an 11.
Nice. Oh, sweet. So you get some useful intel about someone. Who are you trying to learn about?
What would I want? What would Nash want to know? I think the things that Nash is really interested in is going to be, so it's which probably all this stuff related to, who's shutting down, this the homeless shelter and all that outreach work, and like what do people know about that nexus of change?
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
Would be, and if that seems out of scope, I can redirect. But that's definitely
No,
what's on Nash's mind.
I'll just point it at a person.
Yeah.
So let me just make a note real quick. My notes just end up being like circled things with arrows and like too many words.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
feels right on to me.
Okay. Well, you know, the new governor, supposedly, this is what Dominic says.
Yeah.
Supposedly, their new second in command or whatever is this dude named McLaren. And he's been making some choices that, like, I heard directly affected the budget. So I don't know why he's making those choices, but like, no one has had anything good to say about this dude. It's just like no one knows, like, it's kind of like he came out of nowhere. Like he's not like really known on the street, you know, like he didn't rise up and he didn't like come from a different position. They just like elected him. He just like, the new governor just put him in that position. So like, I don't know. I guess he's like maybe some kind of independent contractor or something. It's a little weird.
Sounds weird. All right. Outside or new kid on the block. Not good either way.
Yeah, I mean, now if he's making budget cuts, the city needs all the budget it can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we gotta go ask like one of those actors in Hollywood or something to sponsor us, like they're doing in LA these days. You know, like bringing up neighborhoods through Cherry or some bullshit.
Optics. I think that is what that is called, is optics.
Optics?
Yeah, I think that's how you get people to buy in. So you make them look good by doing the thing, right?
Oh,
So-
that's cool. I never heard that before. I just thought you were talking about some kind of like eye implant.
It's kind of like that, but in your head.
Cool. You're real smart, Nash.
Thanks. I don't know. I just know different stuff. You know lots of stuff. I didn't know that.
It's true. Yeah, I gotta go though. I'll see you tonight. And
Love it.
boosts into like some
Out.
move.
Yeah. Shows up on the way out.
Yeah.
So good.
Cool.
Nash will stand there for a hot minute and like the scene closes on Nash like watching Dominic go.
Awesome. And how's Tessa getting ready for the party? What is Tessa wearing?
I think Tessa finishes just sort of in time to like to get this there, and like yeah, I think she has to like bum a ride from a friend because Lito's car is like awesome for small things, but it's not like, she needs to roll this big old thing on wheels to get
Yeah,
to the
that won't
party. So
He'll carry like a toolkit.
I was gonna say, I feel like there was a past experience where Tessa was
Yeah.
like, Leto, I'm gonna strap this to the car, and he was like, hell no.
right.
I mean, I could be totally wrong.
No,
Yeah,
I-
no, we moved some stuff before, but it was all compact and needed to be reassembled.
Yeah, and so I think Tessa is getting a friend with a like an old bus that has a trailer hitch. I think that's the thing. She designs these to have trailer hitches on them so that they're easy enough to move around. They can't move very fast. You have to drive pretty slow with them, which is also not Lido style. So in all ways, this is friend with the bus, or friend with the truck, and a trailer hitch. But I think that means that by the time Like she doesn't make it to the party until after it started, which is fine. And she's just coming in her like sweaty overalls. Like she would dress up, but like she literally just finished the installation during the middle of it.
Cool.
And yeah.
Tessa's
So
in, like,
tank top, faded overalls, lots of pockets, lots of patches on them. They're all super faded. And her sweaty and her hair, or like her hair all sort of pulled back so it's out of her way, which she'll like loosen. It'll splay out once she's at the party, but that's like her working mode.
Yeah.
Mechanic chic.
Mechanic chic.
Yeah.
It's a look.
She definitely has other clothes. She just not tonight.
I love the like inherent authenticity of showing up from working. Like, strong move. It's real good.
Yeah, I feel like I'm rolling that into the handmade element. Like I got a strong hit there, so she's gonna come as like a representation of that work.
Yeah.
So even if people don't inherently look down over the rooftop, they know she's been up to some stuff.
Karen, does Lido have the chauffeur move where if you give someone one ride?
He does not.
Point. I'm trying to think of a car.
He has Fast and Furious, so his car is super cool.
Yeah.
He can get physical and far away. That's all he has so far.
Far away.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, you what is your car again? You have like a Jag. Are you gonna give Nash a ride? You two are riding to the party together?
I'll offer, yeah. Yeah, he's got a Jaguar, like a two-door, and it's this kind of 1970s model. It's very sexy. It has this kind of glittery gunmetal paint job and like red lit undercarriage, and everything inside is all red lit. And it does technically have something that you could call a back seat that like maybe you could put a suitcase in. Like it's not.
A person would have to be very small or bendy to fit in that as a seat.
But he definitely does know how to make that work for his special move. So
does he just like leave the door open, like to indicate to let Nash know that she can ride? Does he have a
so Nash should come back to the warehouse after the skate park? I think Lido is kind of sitting there and like spinning his keys. And then just kind of like looks at you and shrugs and is like, "You ready to go?"
Right. And Nash will like pause and be like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, let's do it." And like I assume that was all nonverbal, like in the key spinning is just like like a shrug. Is that what I understand?
Yeah. And then he just kind of hops off he was sitting on the counter and he just kind of hops off and grabs some random protein bar from the pile of food that he left in the kitchen. It is a disaster area in there.
Right. It sounds like y'all eat real healthy.
Kitchen looks great.
The cabinets are done though, right? I mean,
the cabinets are done, but like he ran out of time to actually clean anything up. So, and that bothers him. But he ran out of time and he didn't want to be late to this thing. So so he'll just kind of start walking, and he has a remote control on his car.
Yeah.
So the passenger door, he presses a button and it just pops open for you.
Yes.
So I'm going to take a connectivity point for communicating without words.
Yes, do it.
Doing it.
We were all rooting for that one.
Yeah.
Sorry. Were you going to say something else?
Mm-mm.
Okay, cool. So you're driving on the way to the party, and you're in a stoplight, and this hot metallic pink sports car pulls right up next to you, and there are like 4 young, cool some kind of subculture people. Hold
Mhm.
on.
You like hot people, as a
They are They are in the retroplastic subculture. So, they have like, they're wearing like neon colored bright latex like collars and tight shorts and like, pink fake fur to like match the car, even though it's like 100 degrees outside. And have like, pointy nails and stuff. And it's like all kind of like androgynous looking youngsters.
Yes.
Like about, I guess I say youngsters, but like about all your age. You're all in your 20s. So they like roll up next to you, and the driver like just kind of looks over at you, Lido, and does like the up nod. You know, she's got on like some cool sunglasses, and she's like, "Hey."
Right.
And then revs the engine. What do you do?
Oh man. He looks at her and then looks back, and he's got one hand on the wheel. And there's like a beat of like 5 seconds before he revs his engine in response.
Cool. The light turns green. They jump ahead of you by about 5 feet.
He does not accelerate. He just like continues at actually kind of a pokey pace.
So they like gun it, and you're just like, nope to that.
Yeah.
You decline the racing invitation.
He's not a passenger. He's not gonna like fucking race with someone in the car who maybe didn't consent to like racing right now.
Whoa, responsible.
Very responsible. He is a responsible driver.
Cool.
And he kind of smirks a little bit as they just like, pull out in front, and he just kind of continues at like 35.
Well, they pull out pretty far ahead, maybe 2 intersections ahead now.
Yeah.
You can still see him. They're laughing, having a great time. Like, yeah, whatever, that guy, whatever, he can't catch us.
That's
fine. But a cop motorcycle pulls out behind them, and the lights start going.
Yeah, you can just see his smirk just like curls just like a little bit more as he's watching this.
And they zip off. They think that they can outrace the cops, and the cops chase after them. That's pretty much what happens.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, he's so passive aggressive.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And then you pull up to the warehouse without further incidents, and actually there is another incident. I was gonna let it slide, but I'm not going to let it slide because I did bring it up. So you're almost there. You see them pulled over. Like, obviously this motorcycle cop caught up with them. It's an older white dude. He is, there are now 3 cop bikes there.
Oh man.
The kids are like, they look pretty shaken up. One of them is like outside of the car, and he's like, you see him like kind of like handling her pretty rough.
Oh man.
Do you intervene, or do you continue to the party?
No, he's gonna intervene. I think he gives this small sigh as he sees it, just like, oh fuck, and does a really quick like cutting over of lanes.
Yeah.
And slides right into a spot very quickly, and then sits there for a second and looks at Nash.
Nash will look back.
And then, like he doesn't really know what he's going to do, but he'll figure it out when he does it.
Lido has a record, right? Like, he was caught carjacking.
Yeah.
He was younger.
Leto used to boost cars, I think.
Hmm.
I don't know where his backstory is.
Yeah, I know he used to boost cars. I don't know if we decided. I don't know if we
Yeah,
ever said that he was caught.
I think Nash though does have a criminal record, right? Nash was caught for something. Is that correct? Am I remembering correctly?
Nash wasn't necessarily ever caught, but is very ashamed of the very selfish thievery that has come to
Right.
in her past. So is my framework on that.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, so Leto doesn't really expect you to join him in this confrontation, but he kind of sits in the car for a second, just kind of thinking about it, and then gets out and starts walking towards the driver and the motorcycle cops.
Does Nash follow?
oh gosh, the question is, does Nash follow or does Nash try to help a different way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
You can take a minute to decide if you want.
I have a question about effects of monitoring accountability.
Sure.
Do tactics 5 minutes in the future, like, videotaping police, often have any effect on their behavior?
That is a very good question, because we would have to extrapolate. I think that it is having an effect now, as far as people being aware of it.
Mhm.
And so perhaps awareness is a weapon that you could use in this scenario to your advantage.
I think about it just because of how dialed in Nash is, and the ability to spread that information quickly, maybe a tool.
Yeah.
great. Then I will be getting out of the car.
Who knows? I mean, the question of systemically, does that have an effect on the cop's job? Probably not. Will it stop action? Maybe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so there's I think a long pause, and then Nash will kind of scramble out of the car, and also like there's this looking back and forth, and then it's and then we'll slam the car door a little harder than she maybe meant to.
Mhm.
Cool. So as you approach, the cop and the one driver are outside, and the other cops, there's two other cops, and they have their guns drawn, and they're pointed at the other people in the car.
Shit.
We need all of you to get out right now. And they're kind of shouting at them, escalating, and they're like, we don't need to get out. There is no reason for us to get out of the car. We know our rights. That's the kind of scenario that's happening.
Mm-hmm. I think Leto's going to try to diffuse the situation. He's not very good at this.
Okay.
Because he's not very good with words.
Sure. So you want to roll plus your tech.
Yeah. And I think his approach is he's going to approach very carefully and I think try to suggest they wouldn't be speeding if they didn't have somewhere important to go. He's going to try to, I don't know, a lot. Maybe someone's having a baby. Who knows? So he's going to.
That seems like a line of logic that Leto might try to put together.
Yeah, he's not good at this. He's not,
Yeah. And he's like, come on, compassion for the driver mindset, sometimes you just gotta be somewhere fast.
Yeah, he's like, don't you just have to be somewhere sometimes? Like, come on, they're fine.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. Not great.
Oh, that is not great.
No, it's not great. He's not doing great at this. That's okay.
That is totally fine. That's even better, actually.
Yeah.
So you fail to diffuse, and it escalates instead. And where are my hard moves? Over here. I'm gonna give you the condition. I need to reorganize these sheets of paper, obviously. Let's see. I'm gonna give you the condition under surveillance. They tag you like with their cop HUDs or something, and they, make a note of what you look like and who you are and what your car's
No.
thing is, unless it's
license plate and all that.
yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. So they do all of that, and they have like facial recognition software, right? Like all this bullshit 10 seconds in the future. So so the one cop who is at point and in the front, who is kind of harassing the driver, pulls his gun too, and he's like, we're going to need you to back off, citizen. This is none of your concern. We are dealing with traffic violations that have nothing to do with you. We've logged you in our system as interrupting an arrest. Walk away now, or we're going to arrest you too.
Shit.
So
Andy, you're doing stuff too.
Yeah. So then while Leto tries to de-escalate this via the skills of words, Nash is going to be like, there's cameras everywhere. It's Miami, police state. Great. So I'm going to go borrow some of the camera feeds and point them on the situation and broadcast it.
Nice.
On like on a generally public channel. That is.
Sounds like you are also maybe defusing, unless there is something on your character sheet that's like a tech move.
Well, it would either be, so it could be diffuse or it could be reprogram.
Oh yeah.
So when you want to reprogram something's coding, like make it do something else. So
yeah. Do you want to roll that?
Yeah, let's do that one. Okay. Tech. Great. No go.
Oh shit.
5.
Oh,
This is
This
not
is a
going
bad situation.
This is bad.
Mm-hmm.
You get the condition.
Tessa thought she was going to be late to the party. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're not showing up. You're at the party. What's happening? You try to do all of that, but you make a mistake, and now you're glitchy.
Uh-oh.
The condition glitchy. So that means, like, what aesthetically what you would imagine it to mean. Like, your tech is kind of glitchy, like all of your stuff isn't functioning, and that's like a huge part of how you interact with the world.
That's a big deal.
Got
hit by some response like bots, I imagine, that are like have messed that whole system up. Like,
yeah,
is that kind of like what I imagine? Like got hit, like smacked back by like reply tech.
Yeah, or maybe security.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because you're like trying to hack like public feeds or whatever. Yeah, and then I guess a lot of them are probably like security protection feeds, like both private and public, that are high. So that happens to you. So this isn't going very well. But both of you had kind of not a great situation happen. You can probably try. There's not like a reason you can't keep trying. But they start arresting the driver, and the other 3 are coming out of the car, and they're about to like put some kind of like, I don't know, magnetic cuffs or something onto them as well.
I don't know. Leader doesn't know what to do. Could try to calibrate, but I'm even worse at that.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think he freezes. I think he really doesn't know what to do.
Okay.
And he wanted to help, and he felt bad about it, and he feels kind of like responsible, but he also doesn't want to get arrested.
Yeah.
And so I think he just freezes. I think rather than like, he doesn't really back off, and he doesn't try to talk to them anymore. He's just really frozen because he doesn't know what to do. And that's also not a great move. But he's just really stuck with indecision.
No, it's a great move. You could actually roll pause if you feel overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think that's true. He's absolutely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that.
Let's do that. So that's my tough. Good.
Yeah. You could also,
Ooh, that's a highlighted stat. Right.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, I didn't realize you could have an argument, but you don't want to escalate.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, having an argument seems like a really bad plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I rolled a 9.
Cool. So in a 7 to 9, you kind of look around you and describe one of the things on the list below. You can describe some nearby architecture, some neon, rain, or vehicles, something that seems foreign to you and taste, smell, or touch, or the sounds of the metropolis, sirens, machines, alarms, or beeps. So you can basically, your ear is overwhelmed, so you're kind of like absorbing your environment around you as you're processing things.
I think he becomes very aware of the chatter on like the police scanner from the car, and just the sounds of the other cars that are rolling by on the street that of course kind of slow down. You hear that kind of the crunch of the tires a little bit on the road as people are slowing down to see this whole thing. And he can kind of hear, off in the distance, he can hear other cars revving and other cars like driving fast, because it's not an uncommon thing to do. You can even hear like maybe a block away or so, someone's laying on the horn at somebody else. So he just kind of hears all the sounds of traffic.
Cool. Andy, did you want to make one more move?
I would.
What would you like to do?
After getting sort of swatted back in regards to like this technology solution, Nash will sort of sit there and watch Leto become overwhelmed for one, and we'll walk over and just kind of walk over to stand next to Leto very slowly and like put a hand on like his elbow, and we'll then take a moment in doing that to like assess the situation. Like, wait a minute, okay, technology didn't work, so what? How can I get the people to maybe do a thing? And I'd like to use my delicate move. You're delicate because you're so sensitive. It means you can also see where other people are sensitive. So I would like to see maybe if I can't figure out how to get this this person this officer who's on point to, if I can't find a leverage point to make them go away.
Absolutely.
So will glitchy come into effect as a condition here?
I don't think they give you any minuses.
Okay, great. Wasn't sure.
No, it's once you accumulate 3 of them, you go into glitched, which is kind of like your darkest self.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Great. So I'm going to roll my tough. Get an 8.
Cool. That is a nibbling roll, which is fun. They're all fun. I like failures too, because then I get to do things. So what were you doing? I can't remember. Oh, on a 7 to 9.
Yeah.
Weakness is revealed to you, but choose 2. It triggers you, which means you go into glitch. Hey, you could go in.
Yeah.
Their weakness is exploitable, or you can take a condition that's appropriate for what you learn.
Great. I think that it's important to me that this weakness is exploitable, so I will go into glitched and I'll take a condition that's appropriate.
Cool, no big deal. So, so a lot of things happen then.
Yeah.
You let me start with what you learn, I guess, because that gets you into glitched. So
great.
Your tech is glitchy, but you do a quick record check on this dude, this cop maybe.
Yeah.
You see that he is trying to meet his weekly quotas. They don't have monthly quotas anymore. They have weekly quotas or daily. Let's make it daily quotas.
Yeah.
So he's got to arrest a certain amount of people. So he's under an incredible amount of pressure to get this done, and this was the easiest way he saw to do. Obviously that's like super upsetting in like multiple ways. Like, why is the system incentivizing him to do that type of thing? But you can decide how that triggers you to go into glitch, because you're a pattern recognizer. So like your glitchiness is that Do you want to read your glitch? Do you have it in front of you?
I do. I made some notes on it for myself. Let me pull up the version that doesn't have Andy versions all over it.
Oh, would you rather that I read it?
Go for it.
Okay. I wasn't sure how hard it was for you to bring it up. So you are good at seeing patterns, right? And now you're paranoid. You see too many. Are they real connections, or do you just think that they're there? You can't trust yourself. Get out of it when someone says that they trust you. So everyone try and keep in mind how you can say that maybe you trust Nash.
And in the meantime, Nash, like seeing this like connection about like how this person's behavior is impacted by like this like really gross system of like power and inequity, and that even this person who's in a position of power to ruin people's like days and lives is impacted by this whole system at large, and that Nash spends a lot of time like recognizing that everywhere, and that's all that Nash is really seeing right now is how the system is compromising everybody's like integrity. And that's in this like all these interconnected corrupted like human intentions.
Yeah,
that's Nash's experience right now.
So one way you could exploit this is to like offer to change his numbers or something,
right?
I
think that Nash will change.
There's one other thing you should do.
Yeah.
You also get a condition.
Yep.
Because you're glitched, and just to add to the disaster of this, there's also a second condition you get.
You're very delicate. It's dangerous to roll this. So yeah, what's a good condition? I don't know.
Maybe something around like jaded, maybe thinking about this, how I just talked about being glitched and like everyone's compromised.
Yeah, that's great. I was trying to think of a better word for corrupted, and that's a better word.
Okay, cool.
You're awesome. Not corrupt. Yeah.
I think that what Nash will do is we'll change this person's numbers to like be to kind of exceed just whatever the quota is, just enough, and then we'll be like, Officer so and so, check your numbers.
Cool. He does. He's like, okay. Those are high. Did you just fuck with my numbers? You know that's illegal.
No one would have messed with your numbers, but look, you're done. You can go home. Day's over.
Yeah.
He kind of just like, he seems a little shocked, I guess. Like that's out of nowhere, and he's kind of looks at you, is giving you the side eye, and then he like undoes the magnetic bracelets or whatever on the driver. And he's like, all right, go on, get out of here. We're not taking you in. Come on, guys, let's go back to the station. I got some stuff I want to talk to you about. And so they let them all go. They get back in their car. They're pretty shaken up. And the cops are walking back to their hover cycles or whatever they have. And the one guy revs up his bike. He like looks at you. He like does this thing, Andy and or Nash.
Yes.
And then I guess to Leto too, because they clocked you or whatever. And they ride off, and that's it. That's all that happens.
Woof.
Yeah. People in the car are like, yo, thank you so much. I don't know what you just did, but I cannot get arrested again. That really saved my ass.
Great.
Leto just turns and walks back to his car.
Okay.
And he presses the remote so both the doors open. But like you were still all talking while he just walked away, and he's just sitting in there like stewing.
Totally.
He's really pissed off at everything.
Looks like it's time for me to go drive or ride, or I gotta go.
Yeah, cool. Add me on such and such social app.
Awesome. Yeah, totally. And just right then and
on the My Faces.
On the My Face. Add me on
My
My
Face gram.
on the hoop.
On the hoop.
On the hoop. I love it.
Hoop.
That's it. It's called the hoop.
It's called Hoop.
The hoop.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Hoop,
Hoop me.
hoop me.
I'm writing it down.
Sweet.
Yes, this is lingo now.
Perfect. And Ash will do that like right then and there because there's like if you permit proximity like pings, right?
Yeah.
So, and we'll just sort of like good luck with the rest of the day and like jog over to the car.
Mm-hmm. Leto sits there in silence for like a solid 3 minutes before starting the car. And he's normally, he's a very particular and deliberate person, but you can sense just like he's so tense and angry that everything is even more deliberate.
Yeah.
Like it's, the turn signals and the brakes and like just he's driving in this like very overly cautious way and he's just gripping the steering wheel and you can tell that he is just so really conflicted. He feels really responsible. He's angry that he couldn't help. Like he's just really pissed off and mad at himself and at the situation. And he does not talk for the rest of the ride.
Totally.
So I'm just going to give myself a connectivity point.
Yes,
Absolutely.
please do. That's so good.
For that.
Nash will definitely like sit there for a time and then it'll be like, we don't have to go to the party, we don't have to go anywhere. And then I imagine like there's nothing in reply.
There's nothing in reply. Like, and you can tell like we're going to the party. Like that
right, totally. That's the thing.
Thinking.
The blinker turns on because you're about to turn left.
Yeah.
And then Nash will be like, you made the right decision. It was good that you stopped.
Mm-hmm. When we get there, he's gonna like press a button so the door opens for you. And I think, if I can take a little bit of narrative control, like if you get out and then you hear the door close behind you and then he takes off.
Yeah, and before Nash gets out of the rig, Nash will like turn and like put a couple of like fingers on like that near forearm and be like, you still did real good, even if everything's fucked up. And we'll get out of the car.
Yeah. So I'm gonna roll far away.
You're running instead of driving?
No. He lets Nash out of the car and then drives off.
Oh, I misunderstood you.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, he does not get out of the car and he peels out and is just gonna go drive his feelings off.
Can't deal with something, just drive.
Yeah.
So good.
So I don't know what I roll here.
Oh shit, I'm sorry. I forgot to put that in again. Probably savvy or tough, I would imagine. Because like tough has to deal with like your resilience. So like you can't deal with it. So this is a way to become resilient.
I can roll tough. See how this goes. Ooh.
Ew.
All right then.
What'd you get?
14.
Okay.
So I disappear from the scene successfully and I heal a condition. When my condition was under surveillance, does that kind of fold into because they hit their quota, they just kind of take me off?
It gets lost in the digital shuffle.
Nice.
They don't want to do the paperwork, so they don't push it and it like falls off, right? Like
right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't need to do the paperwork for this because they hit their quota, so it never happened.
And
Awesome.
it seems like in this world, like no data ever disappeared, but there's so much of it that like doesn't matter. Like it doesn't get flagged as important. It's effectively, erased.
Yeah. So Leto is out. He will reappear at some point, perhaps in the party. He went to go drive his feelings off.
What is he listening to though?
Ooh, yeah.
Important decisions.
That's a good question. I'm gonna have to think on that because I don't really know what his style of music is. Oh, you know what he's listening to? Oh man, what is that? I'm gonna have to look it up. It's I think it's some 80s something.
Okay.
All right. Why don't we think on that and then take our next break and we'll come back for the party.
It's time for a break already?
It's time. Yeah.
Wow.
Time flies. All right. We will be back, y'all. Have a great time.
Yeah.